This is a dehumidifier, and we're going to change the drive belt out. We got a spare drive belt right there, and we're going to document how we do that. First thing to do is get this panel off. We got the machine shut off. It's not locked out. Don't need to lock it out really for this because I've got local control of it right here. And there's a little drive motor inside there that we'll just unscrew and set to the side. By the way, you'll need a 7/16 wrench. Nut runner on a battery operated drill. It works pretty good for this too. I should have gotten one at the warehouse. I didn't, but this won't take very long. Okay, this cover's been unbolted, and as you can see, it doesn't want to move, so probably have to get a screwdriver, break that seal a little bit on the corners. You can probably hear it, and bam, there it goes. Okay, so we got the cover off. Now, what evidence do we have that the belt's bad? Well, I looked in there with a flashlight earlier, and I saw some shredded pieces, so there they are. Plus, this red light right here was on, and I had an alarm up here. I probably should have recorded that for you to see, but you'll get a scrolling error across here that says desiccant rotor failure, and then a general fault alarm right here. But you look in here, you look through that glass right there, you can see the rotor turning, or not turning in this case. Shine your light down here and you'll see pieces of belt. Probably just got loose and I wasn't checking up on it enough. And so what we're going to do is we're going to roll this rotor here out. You can see the permanent desiccant rotor here. Oh, watch out for the hurricane clips. And so we're gonna take that out. I got to take this little motor loose, take some screws out here. We'll get to that in a minute. Now this part here, taking these motor screws out here, you can get to the front too just fine. But the back one here, you're gonna have to kind of work blind. Put get your hand back there, feel where you're putting the screwdriver. Yeah, I should have. Let's see, focus this. I should have mentioned this before. Just about everything in here is sharp. There's sharp edges all over this machine on the inside, and there's no shortage of cuts and scrapes that you'll get from this. I might also add that we take and pre-loosen up this belt tensioner because kind of need a little slack there to get that belt out. Okay, now that the motor is loose, probably a good time to show you the drive pulley right here. You can see how it's cogged, and you can see how the belt was once cogged. There might be a few good. Oh, there's a really stripped off place, but there's a few teeth left on it, but not enough to do it any good. Okay, so here's this motor. It's loose. We're going to take it and use this little hole right back here, and we're just going to kind of wiggle and wriggle and take it out, set it aside over here, kind of get it out of the way. Okay, so we're going to prep up to take this dehumidifier wheel out of here, and I got some special tools to do. And it might be a good idea to have a small shop vac or something, because you see I scooped up the remnants of that belt. Don't want to leave it in there. Okay, a couple things I want to point out to you is this right here is a kind of a shaft block and lock. It's bolted in right here. The desiccant rotor is on bearings right there. There's a C-clip right there that we got to get out, and there's another C-clip right there that we got to get out. And you can see how we got to take those bolts loose right there. Everything on this thing, by the way, is 7/16, and so quite nice to get to. Okay, so we got the bolts out. We're going to take this little bearing block off. We'll set it on the ground. That's the right side. We'll do the same thing for that one right there. Reach in, take it up. Okay, so we got our C-clip off. C-clip goes right there. Sometimes they pop and fly. This one I was able to hang on to. Got the bearing blocks off, and now we're ready to slide that shaft out that way. So, okay, earlier I mentioned some special tools. One of them is a simple piece of wood, and the reason for that is this material right here is insulation. It's got a skin on it, like an aluminum skin, and you can see it'll depress or dent fairly easy. The other thing is this piece of aluminum. I had this left over from a fabrication job. What we're going to do is we're going to slip that in there, and that's going to become a pry bar of sorts. So we're going to use that piece of wood to protect that bottom. And what we're going to do is use this piece of aluminum here as a way to lift this rotor. That's almost a two-man job, this part. Okay. And let's take it. Okay, now we can see the rotor right there, and what I'm going to do is just demonstrate to you. I haven't taken the shaft out yet, so I'm just going to demonstrate how we roll that desiccant rotor out, and that gives me some room to work on the shaft right there. Use that bar, lift it up. That shaft has got a little rust on it, so I'm going to get a persuader out of here, and get the end of the shaft a couple times. That doesn't want to come. It's got some rust on it there, so I'm going to have to deal with that first. Now, ordinarily, the shaft would slide through those bearings pretty good. In this case, because I had some rust on it, and I've tunked on it with a hammer, I'm going to have to clean this rust off and file the end of this in case I've raised a little mushroom right there. So this guy's being a problem, or a pain in the you-know-what. Okay, so now I've got the shaft clean, I've got the end filed down here, got the little mushroom, if any was on there, I've got it lubricated. Lubricated this here, sprayed some light oil on a rag, and then wiped it on the shaft. This desiccant wheel can be poisoned, so I don't want to put any oil or any foreign materials on it. Theoretically, they say this desiccant wheel, if used properly, regenerated properly, good filters and prudent operation, they say can, and I'll quote their words, they can just about last forever. Maybe, well, I don't know, maybe they said 15,000 hours, but suffice to say it should last a long time. So I've got that cleaned up, and we're going to see how it moves out. Yeah, now I've got it flush with the end of the bearing, and that went pretty easy. Now the hard part's going to get it pushed all the way through. Okay, so now we got the axle or the rotor, desiccant rotor shaft out, and you can see the place for the C-clip goes right there. This thing will focus. Anyhow, that bad boy gave us some. Okay, so now we can roll that desiccant wheel out, get the old belt off, the new belt on, and start going back together with this thing. Now, Briar recommends that use if you have a spare belt, that you put it in the compartment here. Get the wheel out here in the machine. Get the old belt off here. There you go. Use the frame of the machine to rest the wheel on, the old belt. Just ready to go on. Ordinarily, if you had a spare belt, this is my last one. What we do is we put a second belt in here and we put it up on the side of the machine where it'll have the running path. And yeah, when you have to go through all of this again, you simply cut the old belt off, slide the new belt over. And this situation will go through right here. It'll be unnecessary. So we got the wheel back in there along the silicone rubber guides there, and now we're ready to pick it up and put the shaft back in. So far this feels like a monkey in a football. Okay, got that back in. Now the challenge is going to be to get that C-clip on there. Okay, so we've got the belt on, the rotor back in, the C-clip on. And I'm a believer that guys that design cars and design machine tools, tools and equipment should have to go out and maintain and work on what they design. That C-clip right there should have probably about a 1/16 of an inch end clearance, so you don't have to fight it so hard. But anyway, we got a position where we're going to put these bearing blocks right there on each side, and that's the next step. Put that back together with the bolts right there. Okay, we got the Desiccant drum wheel back in. We got the bearings back on, and that's probably the hardest part of this whole job. You know, there's a verse in the Bible that says, man, he's gonna live by the sweat of his brow, and I think this is one of those jobs that statement is applicable to. What I really recommend is that if you got to do this job, get a buddy, and two of you start working on it together, and then if you don't like your buddy, leave and go to the bathroom for a long time, and come back in the hopes that he'll have it done for you. Okay, we got the motor back in there. Of course, tightening the screws down is the first thing, but and this belt goes on there like this. You gotta get it strong. We'll get that. And you thread that belt up in there like that, and we'll do a test run on it, get it tight, get it tensioned, all that sort of stuff. Okay, the next step is to tension this belt, and just a moment ago I grabbed a hold of that rotation proximity sensor there. Kind of gave the wheel a jog backwards, and you can see I'm kind of gauging the tension there. You want about 3/8 and a half inch of deflection, and I'm using my hand to press down on that wheel right there. We're going to jog this thing here after I get it pre-tightened a little bit, and try to get the slack worked out of the belt, and make sure it's connected up in these cogs. Okay, we're gonna turn it on here. Put it in hand. Run a couple rotations. Okay, gotta put the cover back on because I'm getting an air pressure differential. Okay, these machines have sensors all over them, and one of the sensors they have is air pressure differential. So we're gonna put this cover back on, pre-position it without any bolts on it. That's just so we can jog it and have the wheel turn. Okay. So now, if we look through this hole, we should be able to see. Yeah, we've got a rotating wheel. So we'll let that rotate about a turn, and work the slack out of the wheel, go back in and readjust the tension. Okay, we've run it enough, I think, to get the slack out of the belt and do a readjustment. So we're going to cut the machine off and take this cover off. You can see the wheel continues to coast a little bit. So we're going to go back and put the final tension on this belt. I forgot to mention that when these machines, when you shut them off and that wheel is hot, there's a program in the computer here that tells this motor to keep running and keep this Desiccant wheel turning. And I utilize that to our advantage here by putting the final tension on this belt while it continued to turn and cool down. And we can see from here that our cogs are engaged in the drive cogs of the wheel. And so that worked to our advantage. Okay, so now we're ready to put the cover on, bolt this puppy back up, and get out of here. Okay, we got a finished job here. We got the cover back on, got the machine running. Let's take a look at the control panel here. We got the heater element on, the react inlet air temperature is 156. Eventually that'll get to 285 degrees. That'll be the optimum performance of this dehumidifier. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the tools we used in this job. Gather a couple things up here. Okay, we had our chunk of aluminum there that we used for a pry bar. We had looks like a 3x3 brace here. We had a piece of wood to go on the bottom of the machine. We had some lubricant here that we used on the shaft. Some emery cloth. This is 320. This is 80 grit. You're gonna need a new belt. This is the old one, but you know, obviously you're gonna put a new belt on. Toolkit. Got a little ratchet kit here. Mosquito spray. It's Florida. It's November. It's still 90 degrees out. Radio. It's just here for grins. Phillips screwdriver. That's a big tip. Phillips screwdriver. That's for those motor bolts. File. And you know, various sundry other crap in your toolkit. And a buddy if you need one. You know. And cuss words. We didn't mention those. We didn't use any today, but they're always available if you need them. I recommend that if you have a buddy and you use that bathroom trick, let him use them. You know, that way on Sunday morning you go to church, you won't have to feel so bad. So anyhow, that's the stuff we need to do the job. And this job normally takes, I don't know, normally takes about an hour. This one took about 2 hours. I was working by myself and had some challenges along the way. But anyhow, that's how you change the drive belt on a Bri Air 3500 dehumidifier.